All right, so I am here at 1912 Capital, and I'm sitting with Brady, who is an area partner.
Yep.
Okay, so before we get into what that is and what that means, I want to hear a little bit about you, your background, how you got into this business.
Yeah, awesome. So I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. I went and served a 2-year LDS mission in Houston, Texas, where I learned Spanish, which has been a big blessing in my life.
Yeah.
As well as I went up to Utah, finished my schooling. I went to Ensign College and did a 4-year program, kind of more focused on business and more of that. I did finance there. So I graduated with a finance degree. But then Court and Damon, again, they've been family friends. They offered me this opportunity to move out there and move in to Arkansas, where I am at right now, and it's been awesome.
Okay, so you're out in Arkansas. You are kind of the boots on the ground.
Yes.
Your title is area partner.
Area partner, and that again, what that means is I'm going to be out there. If someone, our borrowers, our market is so amazing in the Midwest. It's such a steady market for us out there. Most of our loans do come in that Little Rock area. If you go to Oklahoma, Kansas City, Missouri, all of those seem to be where we found the best market to be at. And we always want to make sure that everyone knows that, that we're there for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we get to those bigger lenders, it's easy to kind of become just a small fish in a big pond. We want to make sure everyone knows that if you have a loan for them, that we're going to be there for you. So,
and it's kind of a little bit of a different relationship than I think a lot of people think. There's a bit of a stigma still around the idea of private equity, of private lending.
Yeah.
A kind of this loan shark stigma, right? Tell me how 1912 is different and how you found it to be different.
Yeah. And I think, and that's when I first heard the job, and that was my first thought. My parents thought I was becoming a loan shark. Every time I talked to my friends, they thought I was going to go with a baseball bat and start breaking down kneecaps when someone stops paying, right? But that's not how it is. The way we structure our deals here in 1912, it's really, we structure a borrower-friendly deal. We're very particular that we won't take a deal that won't hurt us, but we also don't want to hurt the borrower. We can look at a deal and say, hey, the money's not there. If they take this deal, it's going to be hard for them to complete it, to finish it. And so our whole goal is that we want the borrower to be successful, because if they're successful, we're successful.
How do you find borrowers? I mean, I know that you're boots on the ground, you're physically there in Arkansas, but what is that part of your job like? I mean, is it mainly referrals? Tell me about that.
So over 80% of 1912's borrowers, and again, why we keep that that personality group together, over 80% are return borrowers. So a lot of our, hey, I've worked with this guy before, come work with him again.
Yeah.
A lot of the times too, there's everywhere in every state, there's going to be a RIA, which is just a real estate group that's meeting. If you ever look at any of your states, anywhere you go, there's going to be some meeting probably once a week where there's a real estate group meeting up. I go to those meetings, just kind of try to network, introduce myself. And usually that kind of word of mouth goes from there. And then also, a big one is social media has been amazing.
Yeah.
Facebook groups, I can go in through there and start messaging some people. Some people, they like to connect that way, and it's been a really big blessing for me to find them through that too.
Oh, that's great. So how do you support your borrowers? I mean, say something, you get into a deal and something goes wrong. You're there in person. How do you help support these guys?
And I think that's the biggest part when meeting with the borrower with us is people think you make money on the sale, you make money on the deal. And our borrowers, they do a phenomenal job of when they do bring us a deal. It's such a deal, it's such a good deal for them. It makes it a good deal for us where they have that cushion. When you work with a company like 1912, you're always talking with someone who can make a decision. You're talking with me or Damon. It's something that's quick, so we can make a change to a loan amount.
Yeah.
We can add, subtract within a day. Within 24 hours, you can hear something. Instead of having to wait 3 weeks to hear about a property that may or may not happen, and that's sometimes an issue when you work with a bank or something smaller. There's a really big blessing with working with someone we're a little smaller, and we can make those decisions fast. You're always working with the decision maker.
So let's talk about timing. You mentioned earlier that because it's a little bit smaller, things can move quicker. So if a great deal comes on the market, obviously that's going to move fast. I mean, talk a little bit about the timeline and also how long your typical loans are.
It is probably the biggest thing is that I've seen it. Those deals come out hot. When you see a good deal at the market, they're getting some of these properties. I mean, you wouldn't believe some of the deals that they get. You're getting houses that are worth $300,000 getting sold for $150,000. When you get a house at 50% of what it's worth, of course, the reason that it's theirs because they want to move fast. A lot of the times there's situations where who the seller, if it's off market, on market, they want to close within days and weeks. And our fastest we've been able to do it is we've had turnarounds where we could get you approved for a loan in a matter of hours. If you can talk to me, I can talk to Damon. We can go up through that chain within the same day and tell you, yes, we can do this. That being said, a standard loan for us is about 6 months.
Okay.
We structure it that way that with a 6-month deal, kind of the goal is in that first couple 2 to 3 months, maybe 4 months, you're working on rehabbing the property. We're going to support you through that whole process, make sure you have the funds needed to complete that property, and then giving it time, of course, to sit on market and sell. The biggest part of it, though, is that as the faster they move, we don't hold a prepayment penalty. So as fast as they want to get out of our loans, they're more than welcome to get out.
Yeah.
We're happy with them because, again, if they hold a loan for us for 4 months and they do 2 months faster, they're going to save 2 months worth of interest. And that's something that's going to save them a lot of money, and we're more than happy to do that for them.
So cool. Well, Brady, thank you for sharing a little bit about what you do, boots on the ground, and how you contribute. It's really cool.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you.